Imagine a world where fear has no hold on you, where every decision you make comes not from hesitation, but from clarity. This is not a distant dream. It is the beginning of a new inner architecture. Every man and woman is faced with two architects. Inside, one builds walls of doubt, the other lays foundations of courage. Which will you allow to construct your destiny? The invisible choices of today become the visible life of tomorrow. Fear whispers limits, but faith designs expansion. Have you ever wondered why opportunities seem to vanish the moment you hesitate? Why the door you plan to walk through suddenly feels locked? Fear is not simply an emotion. It is an architect of delay, a builder of shadows. Every time you surrender to it, you reinforce a prison of your own making. And yet, when you dare to act despite trembling hands, the walls weaken. Life begins to respond differently to the one who refuses to be ruled by internal chains. The truth is, most people live in silent slavery. They dress it with routines, careers, even achievements. But deep within, fear dictates their pace. It tells them when to stay silent, when to quit early, when to play small. But there is another voice calm, yet firm, urging you toward possibility. That voice is not loud. It does not shout. It waits patiently to be chosen. And once embraced, it does more than motivate. It reconstructs the very structure of your inner life. Not to master fear is not to eliminate it. It is to see it for what it truly is. A signal, not a sentence. Even the strongest leaders, the most faithful souls, have felt fear. But instead of bowing, they transformed it into fuel. Fear is raw energy. In your hands, it can either ignite creation or consume potential. The choice always is yours. This is why every transformation begins not with changing the outer world, but with rewriting the blueprint within. Let this be your starting point. You are not here to be governed by fear, but to govern it. You are not born to echo hesitation, but to carve paths where none existed. The invisible work of overcoming fear is the highest form of leadership, because it directs not only your own steps, but inspires countless others who witness your example. Before you change circumstances, change the architect within. Build with courage, and life will expand to match your design. Real strength is rarely visible on the surface. It is not measured by loud voices, aggressive actions, or material display. Instead, it resides in the invisible architecture of the mind, the habits, thoughts, and inner discipline we cultivate when no one is watching. Imagine a mountain. Its majesty is seen above the ground, yet its stability is secured by the unseen foundation beneath. Your mental habits work the same way. Each quiet decision to resist fear, each choice to redirect energy toward growth, forms a base that supports everything else. Without this hidden framework, the outer display of confidence collapses under pressure. Most people seek validation. They act with discipline only when others are watching, feeding off recognition. But authentic mastery requires consistency in solitude. True discipline begins when there are no witnesses, no applause, no reward. It is the decision to wake up early, to study longer, to practice harder, even when no one will ever know. This form of discipline is invisible, but it transforms character. When the decisive moment comes, the individual who has quietly built strength in silence will stand unshaken. Their preparation becomes their armor, while those who relied only on appearances falter. Energy is the true wealth every person carries. Time is limited, but how we direct energy determines whether time produces results or waste. Each distraction drains us, while each act of focus multiplies strength. Guarding one's energy requires saying no to meaningless arguments, no to draining environments, no to habits that erode clarity. Think of energy as sacred currency. Spend it only where it multiplies. Those who scatter it across trivial pursuits remain poor in results. Those who guard it fiercely build an inner fortune that later appears as outward success. Energy conservation is not passivity. It is strategy. In a world obsessed with constant noise, silence has become a rare form of power. Silence is not emptiness, it is presence. To remain silent in moments of chaos is to show mastery over impulses. Silence reveals who controls the room, because the one who does not rush to speak holds authority. Leaders who speak less are often heard more. Silence teaches patience, and patience multiplies influence. In silence, the mind sharpens. The heart steadies. Wisdom becomes accessible. Those who cannot hold silence become slaves to reaction, but those who embrace it become masters of timing. Stillness is not stagnation. It is the gathering of unseen forces. Think of an archer. Before the arrow is released, there is a pause, a moment of stillness where all energy is focused. That silence makes the release powerful. The same is true in life. Stillness is where energy aligns, strategy forms, and clarity sharpens. When you act from stillness, your steps are precise, your influence magnified, and your progress exponential. Those who rush without pause exhaust themselves. But those who master stillness launch forward with unstoppable momentum, because every action is loaded with intention. Asterisk fear is rarely loud. It whispers, subtly steering choices without announcing itself. In financial life, fear stretches the streets, inflates bills, and shrinks possibilities. It disguises itself as caution, prudence, or humility, yet quietly paralyzes action. You hesitate before sending proposals, checking accounts, or investing in knowledge. Your mind, trained to survive rather than thrive, floods with cortisol and narrows focus. Fear is a cunning strategist. It convinces you that hesitation is intelligence. Recognizing its subtle grip is the first step. By naming it, acknowledging it, and observing its patterns, you reduce its influence by a significant fraction. Fear itself is not the enemy. It is a sensor, a signal of where attention is required. Problems become visible, risks identifiable, and preparation actionable. The moment fear arises, do not suppress it. Name it clearly. I am afraid to price high, or I am afraid to face the numbers. Naming fear shrinks its power, converting a tyrant into a guide. When properly understood, fear teaches strategy and preparation, turning potential paralysis into proactive behavior. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. This mindset allows you to navigate the financial terrain. With clarity, patience, and decisive action, action transforms abstract fear into tangible progress. Fear thrives in inaction, but even minimal steps disrupt its dominion. A call, an email, reading a single page, each microaction builds momentum. Think of these as bridges connecting intention to execution. When you rehearse negotiations, in your mind, simulate objections, and prepare responses, fear no longer controls you. The creative imagination becomes a laboratory for testing scenarios. By taking consistent, deliberate steps, you train your mind to view obstacles as manageable and to see opportunities rather than threats. The bridge from I want to I did is forged one action at a time. Comparison is the silent thief of progress. Observing the achievements of peers or influencers can trigger envy, self-doubt, and a sense of lateness. This mental shortcut undermines focus on your unique path. Growth is not measured against others, but against your terrain. The resources, opportunities, and discipline you cultivate daily. Daily routines such as personal finance reading, 15-minute learning sessions, and physical activity act as fertilizer for your own field. By honoring your progress and reframing comparisons as inspiration rather than judgment, you maintain calm, grounded energy. Your trajectory accelerates when focus remains internal. Courage is strengthened through consistent practice and alignment of heart, mind, and schedule. Prayer, planning, and disciplined action merge into a daily liturgy of attention, transforming anxiety into clarity. Ask yourself nightly, what did I do today that my future self will thank me for? These reflections connect intention with execution. The combination of spiritual alignment, mental rehearsal, and micro-actions transforms fear from a driver into a co-pilot, silent, present, guiding without control. As internal strength grows, so does the ability to act decisively, even when fear persists, cultivating the foundation for prosperity and abundance. Napoleon Hill emphasizes the power of a defined purpose. Knowing exactly what you want and why stops the mind from wandering among distractions. It converts vague aspirations into actionable direction. Exact thinking separates fact from opinion, cause from symptom, allowing you to focus on solutions rather than problems. When your mind hunts for evidence instead of excuses, anxiety loses its throne. This clarity reduces self-sabotage and lays the groundwork for disciplined wealth building. A defined purpose is not just a goal. It is a compass guiding every decision, every action, and every thought toward measurable growth. Hill's concept of the mastermind reveals that aligned minds create intelligence beyond individual capacity. Surround yourself with calm, focused people who challenge ideas without ego. Testing strategies with others allows root correction without panic or frustration. In a collective environment, fear diminishes and confidence amplifies. Shared knowledge and accountability accelerate skill acquisition, enabling wealth creation from scratch. The synergy of minds fosters creativity, courage, and resilience. When combined with daily practice and micro-actions, the mastermind becomes a powerful lever, transforming isolated effort into compounding results. Marco Aurelio's principle: distinguish what depends on you from what does not. External factors, algorithms, macroeconomics, others' moods are uncontrollable. Command preparation, ethics, study, and self-care. Serenity is not coldness, but firm focus. Calmness ensures rational decision-making, preventing impulsive reactions. Spending time defining problems instead of chasing urgent answers creates space for better solutions. Thoughtful formulation of challenges reduces unnecessary stress and doubles efficiency. This disciplined approach strengthens the mind against fear, comparison, and distraction, ensuring that actions are deliberate and aligned with long-term prosperity. Creative imagination becomes a practical tool for turning obstacles into opportunities. Mental rehearsal of scenarios, risk anticipation, and visualization of negotiations prepare the mind for real challenges. Fear no longer paralyzes because you have anticipated objections and devised solutions. Self-suggestion, practiced daily, reinforces competence and confidence. By simulating success, the mind internalizes skill, making real-life execution smoother. This transforms abstract desire into concrete strategy. Wealth creation is a mental prototype first. Physical results follow. Each imagined success reinforces a positive self-image, gradually dissolving limiting beliefs that restrict financial growth. Your self-image dictates your ceiling. Belief shapes behavior. Limiting beliefs: I'm not good with numbers, or no one pays my price, keep results stagnant. The serene mind perceives paradigms without confusion. As self-image rises, competence and actions follow naturally. The law of financial attraction matures through repeated, consistent thought and aligned habits. Spiritual guidance, reflection, and disciplined execution purify intention and sustain decisions. Positive mental attitude becomes fuel for persistence, grounded in practical steps. Internal clarity, habitual discipline, and mental rehearsal converge to create the visible structure of prosperity and abundance in daily life. Asterisk fear is inevitable, but it can be tamed. Instead of denying it, acknowledge it honestly. I'm afraid of pricing high, or I'm afraid to look at the bill. Naming fear immediately reduces its power by about 30%. The next step is to quantify risk. Open a spreadsheet. Calculate goals and take micro actions like calls, emails, or study pages. By turning fear into data in small steps, it ceases to dictate behavior. Fear becomes a sensor, signaling potential obstacles without stopping forward movement. Courage is not absence of fear, but command over it. By placing fear in the back seat, you maintain direction, clarity, and control. Wealth begins where intention meets action. Micro-actions connect desire with execution. A single email, a phone call, or a study page moves a plan from thought to reality. Repetition converts these small actions into habit and habit into legacy. Each step reinforces competence, confidence, and a positive mental attitude. Over time, the accumulation of micro-actions builds resilience against fear, impulsivity, and distraction. Daily habits are the bridge between dreams and tangible results, demonstrating that prosperity emerges not from luck, but from disciplined, consistent effort aligned with purpose and vision. In modern life, comparison is a silent thief of progress. Observing influencers, entrepreneurs, or friends can distort perception of timing and opportunity. The mind becomes impatient, distracted, and discouraged. Calmness restores perspective. Focus on your own terrain. Daily reading, 15 minutes of financial study, physical exercise, and nurturing a support network. Progress is cultivated, not borrowed. Comparison is misleading. Growth is personal. By respecting your own rhythm and resources, the mind develops clarity and action becomes precise. Prosperity thrives on personal metrics, not external appearances. Faith is not wishful thinking. It is applied understanding. A sincere prayer asking for guidance, combined with disciplined study and execution, aligns heart, mind, and schedule. Spirituality enhances clarity without fanaticism. Discipline provides measurable steps, while faith motivates persistence. Together, they prevent hasty decisions, reduce anxiety, and stabilize financial self-sabotage. The practice of reflecting nightly, asking what actions today the future self will thank, creates awareness and accountability. This daily ritual integrates mental, emotional, and practical preparation, reinforcing mastery over fear and increasing the likelihood of long-term prosperity. Mental reprogramming is the daily liturgy of attention. Scarcity narratives are replaced by constructive language and deliberate habits. Thoughts of problem-solving override reactive patterns, while practical planning converts ideas into action. Self-suggestion, visualization, and rehearsal of challenges train the mind for wealth. Each repetition strengthens confidence, dissolves limiting beliefs, and aligns actions with purpose. Over time, this disciplined mental framework cultivates calm, strategic decision-making. Prosperity becomes an outcome of intentional thought, persistent practice, and alignment of mental, emotional, and practical faculties, demonstrating that wealth is learned, internalized, and manifested through methodical, consistent effort. Asterisk. A clear, defined purpose anchors the mind. When you know precisely what you want and why, distraction fades and focus intensifies. Napoleon Hill emphasizes exact thinking, separating facts from opinions, causes from symptoms. Exact thinkers choose solutions over problems. Anxiety diminishes, and financial self-sabotage loses its grip. Daily focus on purpose strengthens positive mental attitude, creating a framework for deliberate action. This internal clarity transforms fleeting motivation into sustained determination. turning visions into measurable outcomes and reinforcing that wealth is a function of disciplined thought aligned with defined goals. The power of the mastermind is the convergence of aligned minds. Collective intelligence exceeds individual capacity. Surrounding yourself with calm, focused, solution-oriented people fosters growth without ego interference. Ideas are tested, strategies refined, and mistakes corrected swiftly. Mastermind groups amplify courage, creativity, and insight. By integrating collaboration with personal discipline, mental clarity expands. Wealth creation becomes a shared mental exercise where calm thinking and mutual support accelerate progress. The millionaire mindset thrives on cooperation, accountability, and the strategic alignment of minds working toward shared and personal goals. Stoic principles provide emotional stability. Focus on what you control: preparation, ethics, study, health, and release what you cannot: algorithms, economy, others' moods. Serenity is not indifference. It is deliberate calm that allows for precise decision-making. Impulse is replaced by criteria, panic by strategy. Albert Einstein highlighted the value of problem formulation over reactive solutions. Clear definition halves the drama and clarifies next steps. With stoic calm, wealth-building decisions are deliberate, measured, and effective, demonstrating that internal mastery dictates external success. Even amidst uncertainty and volatility, creative imagination becomes a practical tool. Rehearse scenarios, anticipate objections, and visualize solutions. Wealth creation is not fantasy. It is a mental prototype prepared for action. Simulate negotiations, sales pitches, or investments to build competence and confidence. When fear arises, imagination provides a rehearsal to manage it without paralysis. Obstacles transform into opportunities through strategic anticipation. By practicing mentally, the mind internalizes strategies, reducing stress during execution. This disciplined use of imagination strengthens the bridge between intent and achievement, showing that foresight and preparation are integral to financial mastery. The millionaire mindset emerges from consistent practice, clarity, and mental discipline. Repetition converts habits into art, calmness into insight, and positive thinking into persistent action. Figures like Ayrton Senna, Pell, and Luisa Traiano exemplify muscular peace of thought, internal stability that dictates external success. Daily rituals, focused attention, strategic planning, and disciplined execution create lasting prosperity. Mental reprogramming exchanges scarcity narratives for construction-focused language. Measure, communicate, and act with purpose. Wealth is the convergence of clarity, courage, and routine, a living portrait of the mind aligned with opportunity, demonstrating that abundance is not luck, but the product of deliberate mastery.